pleasure to see you all here. So, what bank is doing about this? Basically, Evolve is an advisory services. As a knowledge partner, we equip the MSMEs through case studies, operational know-how, or regulatory and government affairs. This year's concept and theme is Future Proofing MSMEs for the New Age. To set the context and extend a warm welcome, I request our Circle Head of Kerala, Mr. Bindish, to come over to stage.
So let me extend a very, very warm welcome to all the distinguished guests who had made it possible for us today evening. As you know, when we are looking for a good forum to conduct this event, we were not able to get anything in the center of the city. The only place which is convenient and which can house this entire audience is this part of the city, and I know evenings it's tough to reach over here. And I'm so glad and excited that all of you made it on time for this event. Thank you once again on behalf of Axis Bank Kerala Circle, and let me extend a very hearty welcome to each and every one of you. As you know, in fact, Kerala Axis presence is 25 years plus old. And we handle few of the very, very prestigious mandate in Kerala for the government, which includes the Kochi Metro. Kochi Metro's complete manning of the counters is still being done by Axis Bank. And one of the clients where they had sent us 5 appreciation note on the way in which the technology was being managed by Axis Bank. We always take this as a very, very pride association, which when we talk to customers about it. And as a whole, in fact, the network of Axis Bank in Kerala, we have almost close to 156 branches spread across and doing a good variance of business. But as it has been said always, in a service industry at any point of time when we feel that we have reached the pinnacle, then there is less scope for us to grow. So as James was been mentioning in this 9th edition of Evolve, it is not for us to showcase what we have. It is predominantly we want a good feedback to come from our customers to see that what best we can offer in a much, much more customized and approachable manner for our customers. Many of the times, we all feel that what the banker has, the customer has to take. That's gone now. What the customer wants, in fact, the bank has to provide. That is how the competition is evolving and taking the banking. As you all know, with our association with Citi, in fact, the technology of Axis Bank, it has gone to a completely different level, which in fact the app which we give it to our customers is being rated as the best, not in the country, across the world. So this forum, it is more for us to understand your requirement, what it is in store and what you want and what you have in mind, what you are not getting from Axis Bank. Our team would be always here until this evening ends. We will have a very good interactive session. My only submission to all of you is that please make use of this forum and speak to us and ask us questions through which in fact we can improve our service delivery in a much more economical and customized manner for you. So once again, be comfortable, sit, relax, speak out and see that this forum is being made the optimum use by you the way we are looking up from you. Thank you so much and enjoy the evening. Thank you.
Thank you, Bindish, for that opening remarks. So that's it. Last 5 years, we were continuously innovating. When COVID took us, some of us to the back seat, invested a great amount of money in technology and invested and came out with unique technology of Neo for corporates. So just to speak about this and to say how Axis Bank is future-proofing MSMEs for the new age businesses, I would like to invite Mr. Ritul Mukhopadhyay, SVP and Business Head for Small Enterprises Group, to share his views. Mr. Ritul is a seasoned banking professional with 25+ years of experience in the lending space, focusing on areas of customer acquisition, risk management and underwriting. His focus is on partnering closely with MSMEs in their growth journey by providing curated solution. Over to you, Ritul.
Thanks, James. Good evening, everyone. And it is great to be in Kochi on the occasion of Evolve. So let's talk about Evolve. So this is a knowledge series for MSMEs that we have been conducting since 2014. And this is the 8th edition till date. We have reached across to 9,000 customers across 50+ locations. And of course, the subject for this year's Evolve is Future Proofing MSMEs for the New Age. So let us start with the landscape of MSME in India. So as you can see, there's a 14.4% CAGR over the last 5 years. And this is a very important segment for the nation. So total outstanding as a whole is 26.7 lakh crores, out of which Axis Bank has a share of 8.6%. And Pan India as a whole, we have 56.6 million Udyam registered MSMEs, and number of people employed by this sector is 237 plus million. It contributes 30% to India's GDP and 40% to India's export. And a personal note, we interact with so many customers all across the country. I think each business, each customer carries a very inspiring story. And we go visit the units, meet the customers. I think it opens an eye for all of us to see the kind of progress people are making on the basis of their individual determination and efforts. So I will just dwell upon closer home what is happening in Kerala. So Kerala has 152 billion GDP at the state, and it is the 11th largest economy in the country. The GDP CAGR is 8.8%, and exports from April to August 2024 is a whopping $1.87 billion. We also find a vibrant MSME presence in Kerala. 2.4% of India's MSMEs are located in Kerala. I'm sorry, this alliteration is wrong. It's not Karnataka, it is Kerala. And 4.4 million people are employed here. Udyam registration, 1.4 million. And 12th largest number of MSMEs in India come from Kerala. And when we look at the industry as a whole, I think there's a diverse presence of sectors in MSMEs, majorly being tourism and hospitality, coir, handloom, and handicrafts. And when it comes to tourism, I think the state has invested heavily in communication and infrastructure to take this forward. At Axis Bank, well, you're all Axis Bank customers, so always feel proud to introduce and reintroduce our bank to you. So we are the third largest private sector bank in the country, 58 million customers, 1,02,350 employees, and spread across 5,706 branches. We have a market share of 4.8% in deposits and 5.5% in advances. In credit cards, we have a market share of 13.7%. So I'll just leave the slide for you, for your consumption. We have a balance sheet size of 119 billion US dollars. And as far as the book is concerned, the book is doing well. You know, NIM is 3.93% and cost to assets is 2.48%. When we talk of one axis, while we talk about providing multiple solutions across the bank, we also have one axis in terms of our subsidiaries. So we have Axis Finance, we have Axis AMC, we have Axis Capital, and we have Axis Securities. And all of them are doing well. So I'd like to spend some time on this slide. So we have a MSME lending book size of 2.3 lakh crores with an 8.6% market share. We are growing at a CAGR of 28% over the last 5 years. And this is how the portfolio is. The mid-corporate is growing at 36% CAGR. The SME part of it is growing at 20%. And SBB, where we do small ticket business loans, we are growing at 42%. So MSME, first approach that we have, it aims at understanding the challenges and we try to respond faster. Of course, the industry is evolving, there is digital, there is AI, so all of us are on our toes. So some of the major challenges that we find while taking up a case, lack of proper documentation, so we are tracking it. You know, we have tailor-made products to suit all type requirement of MSMEs, and we are also launching new products, mainly GST. It is a watershed which has created a watershed in the industry, and we are banking on that to create new products for faster servicing. We are also into digitization and support beyond banking so that you can bank anywhere, anytime. And NEO and MLP are some of the service solutions that we provide. Of course, we partner with various people in the ecosystem to be able to deliver these products. So while we are sitting in Kochi, but the market is huge. So we also have Bharat Banking, through which we have made inroads into the RUSU segment, that is the rural and the suburban segment, so that we can reach our customer and leverage our branch banking channel, reach out more and more deeper into the landscape of India to meet the customers and meet their requirements. And finally, I think there's some, government has a keen interest in MSME. We are talking about Atmanirbhar Bharat. So we are also there. We do CGT MSE lending and various other schemes which have been launched by the government to provide support to the MSMEs. So when we look at an MSME customer, I think what we see is a person who is donning multiple hats, and the roles are diverse. So in a large corporate or in a big company, you'll have 10 or 15 people doing this, handling each and every function. But in MSMEs, it's the promoter who is not only the entity owner, but he's also working in individual. He's providing employment, so he's a large-scale employer. For the ecosystem, so obviously you're supplying to large corporates, big corporates, government. So there's a huge network which depends on. You are an end consumer in yourself. You are leveraging your property to expand, and of course, extremely true for Kerala. I think you are also into imports and exports. At the same time, if you look at the growth of a MSME, various stages of growth, we are there to provide solutions commensurate with the requirements that the entity has. I'll also spend some time on one axis. So we have products in our bouquet which can address each and every banking requirement or banking need that you have. So while we at SME provide advances, that is working capital, term loans, export finance, structured finance, we are also into deposits, that is current accounts and term deposits. We are also into transaction banking. We provide CMS and other payment and collection solutions. Trade and Forex is an important part of our portfolio. So we provide trade and Forex solutions as well. Retail banking, I think salary is a very important component today, and I think when we started banking 20 years back, when I was working in West Bengal, a lot of people used to pay salary in envelopes. I think that is past. We don't even remember that. Salary is a very, very important solution, and I think it keeps the employees happy. So we also provide salary solutions. In terms of wealth management, we have Burgundy and Burgundy Private, which are premium RMs who reach out to customers and address their banking needs. And finally, we are also into investment banking, merger and acquisition, IPO. We have a solution for that also. As you have seen, Axis Capital is also a part of Axis Bank. It is a subsidiary. So at Axis Bank, we believe that while we do the banking, we ensure that you are doing your business right. Okay, and for that, we have invested heavily in digital journeys. So whether you are in Tamil Nadu or whether you are in Punjab, you can access us through any 5 options that we have. You can go to a branch, or you can approach our DSA or a village level entrepreneur. So the entire gamut is there for you. There was a time, again in the old days, when branch used to be the initiator of all kinds of businesses. But now we also have a very strong digital footprint. So through any of these channels, you can come to us. And the sanctioning and disbursement is also very easy. It's a 7-step process. It takes place really fast. For any other inquiries or any other clarifications, we have a product gallery outside. So you can spend some time over there also if you want any clarification. So I'll spend some time on Neo for Business. It's a mobile as well as a web-based app that we provide. It has a rating of 4.6 across the world, and it is extremely diverse. So this product has been prepared in such a way that we cater to the requirements of the MSMEs. So for example, it starts with payroll, integration with Tally. If you are a seller on Amazon, we can easily integrate you into this. You can access the marketplace, networking, and there are a whole lot of features in this. It's a very, very simple application which is available on Play Store, both on iOS as well as Android. You can download it and you can go through it, get a look and feel of the entire software. And customers are using it and benefiting out of it. Okay, so we have invested heavily in this, and we would love to get your feedback. We would love you to use it for its ease of convenience. And so merchant cash advance is a product for segment of customers where we are offering a 3-in-value, 1-value proposition. So it's not only about current accounts and loan, but it's also about providing major collection through QR and POS. I think it's a part of life now. Wherever we go, I think in India, 72% of transactions have moved digital, which is unimaginable in a country like ours we were so dependent on cash for our transactions. So this is a product that we offer. Again, you can go to the product gallery if you want details on the product. So it's a very simple process, KYC verification, and finally, you can get the solution that you're looking for. And finally, I would like to spend some time on Burgundy, which is a product for high-end customers. I think all of you out here qualify to be a Burgundy. I'm sure some of you are already enjoying our Burgundy banking services, but if you want, we can sign you up. So here we are talking about wealth management, business and lending solutions, personal banking. We have a dedicated Burgundy relationship manager, who is available 24 hours for your queries or any help. We also do legacy planning. I think this is one part which people miss out, but you can get absolute professional assistance on this from our Burgundy RMs. So that brings me to the end of my presentation. Thanks for hearing me out. And of course, we are available after the sessions are over. We can discuss in person or outside, wherever you want, anything that comes to your mind. Thank you very much.
Thank you, Radul, for your valuable insights. Yeah, that very well summarized the growth of MSME, the start of MSME, the growth of MSME, and what Axis Bank is doing about it, what is digital all about it. So, what is for the future of MSME? So, last year, for statistics, last year we had 1 lakh MSMEs registered in Kerala, the largest in post-COVID era or even pre-COVID era. For a number which we are talking about, 1 lakh is a large number. Even 20%, 25% reach their potential to become a mid-corporate or a company which is 100 to 250 crore turnover company. This state's fate is different. We are 11th position. Today we can move up, which we were once very well ahead. We moved down because other states overtook us. Thank you. So just to say the few words about the future of MSME, how we will future-proof MSME. I would like to invite Mr. Deepak Sindil Kumar, VP and Regional Head South for Treasury Market Sales, to the stage.
Thank you, James. Good evening, everyone, and thank you for joining us at Evolve. It's been a privilege today for me to be in Kochi and to meet the vibrant MSME segment. So we'll start the presentation by exploring some of challenges that we face in global markets. In 2025, we've started off on a bumpy note. The global debt has been spiraling out of control. The inflationary concerns persist. China is going through a prolonged slowdown, and emerging markets like India are seeing capital outflows, and currency volatility has started to take center stage. So global trade has gone through a lot of disruptions with tariffs, and we are seeing aging population in developed markets, which is impacting labor and productivity. We have all seen the impact of AI. So a lesser known company from China called DeepSeek kind of disrupted the entire US tech space. And the challenges like climate change and the lingering fear of a pandemic can put the global market off balance. So we will discuss some of these challenges in depth in the slides ahead. So let's start with America, the return of Trump. So if you look at some of the policies like drill baby drill and the tariff regime and the bid that Trump has been making to take over Canada, Greenland, and latest being Gaza, is an indication that America under Trump is becoming more protectionist, it is becoming more nationalist, and it is becoming more expansionist. In fact, Trump didn't mince words when he said that he is going to bring in efficiency in American bureaucracy. DOGE, led by Musk, has already started to cut costs and rationalize headcounts. In fact, Musk has gone to put up a proposal for a dividend, about $5,000 to be paid out to American citizens if his plan were to fructify. So the only breather that market had was the appointment of Scott Bessent as the Treasury Secretary. So he's been approved by most of the business leaders across the Atlantic, and he's been the prudent choice for the role. So it's been just a month taking over presidency. It will be interesting to see how things pan out from here. Moving on, the Federal Reserve, after cutting 100 basis in rates from September, has now gone on hold. So in fact, they see a higher risk to inflation than growth. But the Fed is actually on a collision path with Trump. So if you look at what Trump wants, he wants rates to be much lower from where we are today. But in our view, the Fed will stay put for most part of the year. In fact, we believe that there can only be 2 more rate cuts for the next 2 years. So moving on to ECB, it's been a tightrope walk, a balancing act between inflation and growth for ECB. They have cut almost 125 basis points from June last year, and they are expected to cut from the present level of 2.75% to 2 by the end of this year. So the problem that Eurozone faces is multifold. You have political instability in France and Germany, you have an energy crisis, and then to top it all, you have the ongoing war between Russia and Ukraine. But if you look at it from a bird's eye view, most of these factors have been coming to a resolution. Probably in about a year's time, you will see most of these issues being addressed. So in our view, we are saying Euro has already bottomed out, and from here, Euro should start to head higher. Now moving on to China, on the top right corner, you can see the China inflation. So literally, for the last 2 years, China has been in deflation. The growth has not been picking up. But we feel with the present reciprocal tariff that's going on around the world, China will do a much larger stimulus, close to about $7 trillion, and will reflate its way to growth. Now this is a global snapshot of how rates, inflation and GDP look for US, Euro and UK. The good news is that US has been growing at a brisk pace. So Euro has been languishing and UK is somewhere in between. And if you look at inflation, from September last year, inflation globally seems to have bottomed out. We are seeing a persistent inflation in larger markets, US and UK. And the top left corner, which tells you about the recession probability of these top economies, from a year back, where the recession probability was somewhere around 50-60%, has now dropped to 20-30%. So that's good news. Coming on to India, we have political stability at the center. The focus is now shifting to growth. So what has been very interesting in this entire journey from post-pandemic, the government at the center basically responsible. If you look at the debt to GDP, India compared to top 10 economies, we are at the lowest. Just to give you a snapshot of how we have performed, our GDP growth for H1 has taken a slight bit of hitting, but that's mostly to do with government not coming out and spending because of elections. We are already seeing some green shoots happening across, and our inflation is very much under control. And the graph at the bottom left is something that's very interesting. In fact, India is one among the few countries that has reduced its fiscal deficit to pre-pandemic levels. In fact, we saw our fiscal deficit go up to as high as 9.2%, and we are heading towards 4.4. So if you look at some of the projects that the government has undertaken, India has been executing one of the largest infrastructure ever. And some of them are not just about, building roads. It's about better connectivity, better logistics, and better energy efficient markets. for the decade to come. And India has also taken up digital initiatives, and in fact, most of the digital taken have kind of reduced the gap between urban and rural. Initiatives like UP and ONDC are great game changers for financial inclusion. So coming back to RBI, we have seen a first rate almost 2 years. So if you look at this governor, he used to intervene in markets pretty frequently. Currency was kept at a tight grip. But the new governor is clearly looking at changing things, both in terms of managing liquidity and even on currency volatility. So if you look at the bottom right chart, the Indian rupee has been pretty much strengthening across the last 1 year against the emerging market basket. But after December, the regime change happened. Our currency took off. So the RBI wanted to find its own feet. It is not going to intervene much in the market going forward. So this is again a snapshot of how rupee is moved. So calendar year 2024, rupee has been the 4th best performing currency. But after December, we all have seen how rupee is moved one way. But most of the depreciation is on the rear view. So not see a significant depreciation from now on. The depreciation will be in a phased manner. And what's very surprising to volatility is now back on track. So both exporters and importers are actively hedging in the market to cover themselves from FX fluctuation. Some of the trades that we've been suggesting to most of us is to look at actively hedging your export receivables. The spot INR has already been weakened to almost lifetime highs. And on top of that, your forward premiums for 1 year is also at a 2-year high. So it makes complete sense and a company to go and hedge export receivables in the market. So this is one of the most interesting chart for MSMEs. If you were to look at global markets and decide whether it is risk on or risk off, and that decision taken just by looking at the dollar index. I have listed out most of the events that had happened over the course of last 15 years. So every time when this dollar index moves above 105, then it is risk off. And when dollar index moves below 95, then it is risk on. So presently we are at 106.5, and emerging markets like India are looking at a lot of capital outflow because the dollar has been strengthening. So to summarize, if you look at most of the countries that have gone for polls recently, they have leaned towards right. And the challenge with countries moving towards right is that they look at deglobalization as the important criteria. Self-reliance. They would want to manufacture for their own country, and that is very inflation. But unfortunately, that's the trend that we've been seeing. Dollar index and the interest rates in US most likely will head higher in the short term, and it is expected to cool off in the medium term. Of volatility in the emerging market asset. Euro dollar is in the verge of bottoming out, and India is poised to grow at 7% in the medium term, and rupee will look to find its own feet. We will not see a one-way depreciation. We will see move on both sides. Thank you.
Thank you, Deepak. That was quite insightful. He scared us, showing Trump and Musk in the one slide, first slide. Thank God, after some time, okay, Modi came and things started cooling off. Hopefully. So what I understood, I'm also trying to learn along with our other participants. So what I understood is that yes, the global scenario is so turbulent, but it's good. it's good for us. Actually, everyone is looking forward to India because China +1 is there, opportunities are there. Of course, there's a talk about it for that trade policies, trade wars, everything is there. But I think this is the time for MSMEs. Next 5-10 years, we in Axis, I'm also walking along the path with the MSMEs, sharing a lot of experience. So I can understand that there's a lot of optimism in entire South India. And traveling and meeting MSME promoters. So there's a lot of optimism that next 5 years is for India, next 10 years is going to be good. Of course, rupee will depreciate, it has to depreciate, it has its own challenges. We are not here to take a bet on currency. Nobody should take a bet on currency. That's what in Treasury we believe MSME should always be fully hedged. So some of these MSMEs with us participants today, they walked a bit ahead of us. So we thought that rather than we doing a monologue and we sharing our experiences, Axis Bank sharing our summarized experiences, why not we ask them to share their experiences, what they have seen when in a state like Kerala, which is otherwise thought to be a bit difficult state among the South Indian states to have ease of business sometime in the past. So they have established their business enterprises here, and we thought that we'll learn from them. So we know that successful businesses are not built overnight. So it takes a lot of pain, a lot of things. So we don't want to go through that pain. Rather, through Evolve program, we want you to give their insights to you so that you can walk a little faster. So we thought that through a panel discussion, we will bring it to you. And to moderate this panel discussion, Mr. Rajendra Chekumar, Head Deposits and Liabilities, will be leading over it. So he has got over 24 years of experience across cards, payments, retail assets and MSME lending. He is in the current role, he heads the deposits and liability franchise of the bank. I would like to invite Rajendra on the stage to take us through this insightful session on future proofing MSMEs for the new age. Let us welcome Rajendra by putting our hands together. I would like to invite participants one by one. First being Mr. Thomas John, MD, Agape Diagnostic Limited. Thomas John had completed his engineering from Mangalore University and did his MBA from Wellington Institute, Mumbai. Presently, he is doing MBA from Harvard Business School. He has been bestowed with various awards under widely recognized magazines and platforms for his role in guiding Agape and his exemplary performance in business. He was awarded Entrepreneur of the Year in 2015 and Visionary CEO of the Year 2017. What is Agape? Agape has a strong presence in segments like clinical chemistry, immunochemistry, etc. They are into the molecular diagnostics business, and recently they have launched Agape Chitra Magazine RNA extraction kit. Most of us would have used most of their product because during COVID times, Agape was one among those saviors for the country. So Agape has completed its 25th year. Proudly, we are happy that we are also associated with Agape. They are completed 25th year of business success in Indian and global market. So welcome, sir. We are happy that you are here with us today. The next panelist is Mr. Chris Tollin, Managing Director of TPF Bharat Private Limited and the Director of Tollins Limited. Chris is a seasoned business leader, with a proven track record in the FMCG sector. He has done his Masters in Science in Marketing from University of Bath, UK, and Bachelor of BBA from Plain University. As a Managing Director of TPF Bharat Limited, Mr. Chris has built the company from ground up, leading into impressive milestones. Under his leadership, TPF has grown into a profitable organization with just less than 5 years. He gone to 100 crores turnover today. He is also a key member of the promoter group, which we all know, Tollins Tires Limited, which is recently listed, the latest listed company from the state of Kerala 6 months back. So their family is also behind very many ventures like Tollins World School, Tollins Hotels and Resorts. So let us all join our hands together and welcome Mr. Chris onto the stage. Moving on to the third panelist, Mr. Akshit Thomas Joseph. He is the Managing Director of Cheryl Enterprises. Akshit is a second generation entrepreneur and Managing Director of Cheryl Enterprises, a diversified business with a turnover of 400 crores. Since joining the company in 2009, he has played a crucial role in its expansion. Holds a degree in BA from Christ College, Bangalore, and through a FPM program from SP Jain, Mumbai. He has taken the leadership from his father, Mr. P.T. Joseph. They were the sole distributor of Jaguar and Company over the years. It has transformed into leading multinational companies distributor. Welcome Mr. Akshit onto the stage with a big round of applause. So over to you, gentlemen.
Thanks, James. Thanks for the elaborate introduction. Good evening, everyone, and welcome. Thanks once again for taking out time and being here. Evolve is an important activity for us from a perspective. You have seen Ratul explaining. The fundamental philosophy at Axis Bank is to be a partner in progress of every MSME at every stage, right from a micro enterprise, which is a small budding enterprise, to a medium, mid-corporate, large conglomerates. We want to be a partner in the growth, and the only way we can be a partner is having product and suite of products to match every stage of the life cycle and every requirement, whether it is lending, whether it is deposits, treasury, advisory services, participating in capital transactions. So we started evolving over a period of time to ensure we are there in the full prism. The second fundamental philosophy with which we work is how do we capture the ecosystem. Each MSME, each enterprise in itself is an ecosystem with suppliers, with vendors, with a full chain running right from the manufacturer to the consumer. So we started creating a lot of center of excellence. For example, we are running one tourism hospitality where we are trying to do a pilot in Kerala. How do we cater to the tourist sector, tourism sector, right from the smallest player in the chain to the largest player. So we are traveling across, we have senior core teams who travel across the country talking to the customers. This evolution of Axis in supporting the MSMEs has happened through listening to you, listening to customers, listening to the customer feedback, having the voice of customer, basis that forming the products, the programs, continuously checking ourselves if we are on the right track and how do we change. This is a core activity. This is not a side activity. This is a core activity at Axis. We have a project called Spurge. We have a customer excellence team who day in, day out listens to every customer, whether it is on the social media platform, whether it is through the web channels, through the telephone channels, or when the RMs go and meet, or any of the surveys that our customer posts. Voice of customer has been the crux of the story for Axis, and Evolve has really helped us. So here we are at Kochi. I was listening to the profiles of each of the gentlemen. So normally people in the other side will be there, but being in the hot seat with three such enterprising entrepreneurs is kind of giving me an opportunity to know about yourself. So without much ado, we will start. So one thing common which I have seen in all the profiles and whatever I learned about you, these industries are not built overnight. Each of your businesses are 25 years, 30 years old, and the second generation is running, and you have started from a modest beginning and went upon to make an impact in your industry. So we want to hear from you about your journey, how it started, how the company has taken over, and anything that you would want to share us about your journey.
Thank you so much for the invite to Team Axis. It's been a privilege to bank with you for the last, innumerable years, and you're the lead banker in a listed company, Tolerance Tires. Coming to your question about how we've built this company over the years, I have not done anything. I've been only in the business for the last 5 years. I've built a company called TPF Bharat Private Limited. We're into FMCG food. We're into different categories like rice flour, spices, seasoning, etc. And then we do private labeling and branded selling. If you see Tolerance Tires Limited as a company, it has taken 40 years for that company to grow from a very small SSI unit in Kaladi, place in Cochin, and to becoming a listed company in NSE and BSE 6 months back. So this 40 years is, I've seen some of it. That is what the last 10 or 15 years, what I remember. It takes a lot of grit and determination to tackle all the problems that are there in the industry, but it's very rewarding to see like all the effort that you put in coming to fruition. The last year and a half which we spent on the IPO, it took us a year and a half to do the IPO. from deciding, okay, we want to go to the capital market, and then getting listed on September 23rd. So it is a journey. It is fun. It needs to be. You need to take it in with a little bit of passion.
I know you have been to Bali yesterday, and it must be hectic, and you're back to equally beautiful home city of yours. And we had a side chat where you were busy with the investors meeting also in Kerala. So, any thoughts? How was the investor meet? And before I ask you about your journey, anything that you would want to share? How Kerala is shaping up?
Good evening. First of all, thanks Axis Bank for giving me this opportunity. Yes, I was in Bali and I was representing again MSME or the healthcare in IFC. IFC is part of World Bank. Okay, thanks for giving this opportunity. My journey started in '95. Basically, I'm an electronics engineer. Passed in '91, reached Bombay, worked for some companies. One of the company which I worked was similar in size or similar in product range, where I understood that there is an enormous opportunity for especially the healthcare, and that too in the laboratory diagnostics, because proper diagnostics gives proper direction on the treatment. So we understood that there was a big gap of urban testing and rural testing, because I was in Bombay, there was a lot of automations because most of the multinationals, they focused on the urbans, but we identified that they are not much focused to the rural areas, because most of the multinationals, they have developed their products on their country. It was not for India, but somehow they were managing to dump to India and adapt the people to that multinational nature. So we understood that this is a need, and we have made some strategies that we wanted to bring the same quality of diagnostics to the Tier 2 and Tier 3 city, and that to the Class C and Class D laboratories. That means mid and lower range of the class. So that way we started. Initial 10 years we were operating from Bombay, a lot of troubles, a lot of challenges. Then somehow we managed all. Then we understood that there is a great opportunity further in India, because India, the biggest opportunity, I would say, that the number of population, the amount of population and number of laboratories. So we decided that Bombay may be an ideal place, may not be an ideal place, because we are the first generation entrepreneur. So we decided to come to Kerala. So the second phase started 2005 in here. It was a big decision. Many people said that you will die in the political or the different systems in here, because Bombay, of course, it was more flexible and more pushy. But when we came here, I would say that sometimes there are some initial teething issues, but we were getting a very strong support from the government and bureaucrats and everywhere. We didn't have much issues. I would say that we didn't have any issues, because not even a single day we didn't stop for hartal or bandh, and it was a good, I would say that good experience. It's not, I'm not talking for a party or anything, but it was the reality. Then 2005 to 2015, we have made a lot of changes, because we set up our reagent big manufacturing facility here. Then we understood that the technology is changing fast, so we wanted to come to instruments manufacturing also. We set up the equipment manufacturing. We understood that we need to have a lot of certifications, like international certifications. We have made all these things. Then up to 2005 to 2015, we were improving our systems and infrastructure. Then 2015, we understood that we require more money, because this depending, sorry to say that, depending only banks means we will only end up paying interest. So that is the time we have taken a decision of giving some stakes to the private equity, because that was the option at that point of time, because we were not that much big enough to have that I would say that capital market and all these things. So we have invited a private equity. They came, and a lot of systems automatically we change ourselves, because otherwise, because there was nobody to question us, so automatically a lot of systems we brought in, and that time we appointed from a entrepreneur-based chartered accountant to KPMG statutory auditor. We brought EY as our internal auditor. We brought ERP to our their financials. So a lot of systems. So then that time we understood that we wanted to scale. So technologically we wanted to advance. So we understood that this is the time where we wanted to have association with the big giants, technology partnership with technology giants. So we made a lot of associations, like in India, L&T Technologies for developing one of the critical products, three-part hematology system first time in India. Then we have launched some protein estimation system. I think you must be knowing that during COVID, especially a lot of COVID prognosis tests like D-dimer, ferritin, we were managing almost 70% of the India's requirement. And that is the time where, even doctors understood the importance of, Indian company. Because, even I personally experienced many doctors were telling that you are so-called one Kerala-based company, what best you can do that. But during COVID, they understood that multinationals, they always focus for their country, because they were not giving any products. So that is the time where doctors understood that, or customers understood the importance of the local manufacturing or indigenization. So we brought a lot of these sort of products, association with the Hitachi Chemicals, then L&T, then Srijitra Institute of Medical Science in Trivandrum, where we developed the TB diagnostics products first time in India. So that way we have done a lot of partnership. And today, when I look back, we were focusing, or we reached to this level in a systematic approach. First, our strategy focused to, tier 2 cities, that to medium and lower sector. That was a very, very strong strategy. And second, we made that infrastructure additions. Third, always continuous innovations with a partnership. So these were the three things which we were doing. On and above all these things, the blessings of God Almighty and my father's blessings and hard work that made us to be.
We move on. We have Mr. Akshay from Sherrill Enterprises. I understand you stepped into the business in 2009. It's about 15 years. So how did it evolve? How did things change? How did the market change? How it is then and how it is now? Anything from your side?
Good evening, everyone. Thank you, Axel Bank, for inviting me. Honestly speaking, I feel a little underdressed sitting here, but then again, it's okay. So our firm was founded by my father in 1990. Till 2010, we were only doing distribution for Jacko bath fittings. So in 2009, I joined my business. So my entire focus was to increase the number of portfolios increase the number of products or companies in our portfolio, which is what I started doing. So I felt privileged to be part of my firm when I joined it, but it was a lot of commitment, then responsibility and all that. And it took a lot of time for me to get a grip of things which was happening in my institution or organization. Then because it was a first generation thing, it required a lot of confidence in my dad to give me the entire operations into my hands. So I had to work myself up the ladder to get there. So I think I did that. So he was very happy to give that to me. Then slowly but steadily we started implementing a lot of systems into the firm, and we started. The thing that we embraced was change, even though there was a lot of reluctance to change. So we understood if we don't change, then we will become dinosaurs. So that was our first and foremost focus, how to change and how to become better on a daily basis. So that's what we did, and we have associated with a lot of international products as well, and even now we are the only distributors for Jaguar bath fittings in the state. And we are proud to say that we have got a market share of almost 60% for Jaguar across the country as well as in the state as well. and we have around 140 dealers exclusively for Jaguar under our distribution segment for other products as well. All put together, we have around 700, 800 dealers to whom we cater on a daily basis. So this has been my journey, and every day, as the logo suggests, it's evolved. So I try and evolve on a daily basis, and I try and stay competent in the market.
At rest, I don't have comments, but smartest definitely are. So thanks for sharing your perspective. So coming back to you, one question, of course, in your message you spoke about listing and you spoke about the IPO which has happened. So for those other, entrepreneurs who wants to go for that, what are the challenges you have faced, or how is it pre-IPO, post-IPO? What is the difference you are seeing? And one intriguing question: I've seen your family business is into tires, but you choose FMCG. So we want to hear what made these choices.
Yes, answering the question about the IPO, there were basically three main reasons why we chose to do an IPO for a company. One was capital, of course. We wanted around 230 crores to, augment the growth of a company, and not that bank was not ready to lend, but leveraging so much on banks and then doing such a expansion would require a lot of guts. And we explored options like a private equity investor, but we felt doing a capital market integration unlocks two things. One, it unlocks the wealth of the promoters, the family which has been running it for the last 40 years. It brings too many people into the organization. Now we have 85,000 shareholders as of last Friday in Tolerance Tires Limited, and each one of these 85,000 people, 85,000 shareholders that we have are praying for Tolerance Tires to succeed. So it went from 4 people praying for me, my brother, my dad, and my mom. It's a very small family. And our team, praying for Tolerance to succeed and grow and become a large player in the country. It got divided to 85,000 people. So I think that 85,000 prayers each day is helping us grow, because we're set to outpace our projections that we had for the company ourselves. So that is one reason, the capital. The second reason, and the third one being the compliance being in place. So with the listing and the exchanges and SEBI and all these people, monitoring the company, it is like a free service the government is giving to ensure that your company is always compliant in all matters, and then quarterly limited reviews and everything. Things go into a lot. Just like how Sir said, how when a PE came in, he was forced to bring in systems, processes, and things to ensure that the companies run smoother. So it took a lot of weight off the promoters and the family to ensure compliance, and all these things are in place. And coming to your second question about why I went, I decided to start an FMC. It was actually very accidental. We started TPF back in 2020 during COVID. I had just come back from UK after completing my masters, and then we actually bought a rice mill as a real estate investment, because we had retained, positive cash flow, and we wanted to sell it maybe 6 months down the line once we've made some upgradations when we find a buyer. But destiny and God had different plans, and then somehow this snowballed into a thing, and then we started a brand, and then we started learning the trade, because I had no experience running any business. Our family, we had run some food business, that is a rice mill, 20 years back in 2000. Before we had to sell that to start the tire business. We were only doing thread rubber manufacturing back in 2000. Then we had to sell the rice mill to raise capital to start LCV tire manufacturing 20 years back. So we thought, okay, maybe we should come back and try our hands again at this. And from there we were able to grow this business. It's going good, and then we have plans for capital market integration, growth, acquisitions in the pipeline for TPF.
Sir, in your message, when you were elaborating your story, you spoke 2-3 times about innovation. The word innovation was constantly ringing. Adoption, moving from one location to another location, looking at things differently. So we are also a large organization. So I would want to ask innovation questions from two perspectives. One, we are also a large organization running a lot of things at the same pace. So from running an organization point of view, what message you have for us in terms of innovation? And from an industry perspective, we are trying to build a credible business on the equipment finance side and at very competitive and low interest rates. So we want to understand from you what innovation is happening in the industry and how we should prepare ourselves.
Thank you for this question. See, actually, we represent the lab diagnostics. Lab diagnostics, you can see that, the product, the way of diagnosis, everything is changing very rapidly. So when we are not bringing the new technology, if we are not adapting to the new systems, then we will be out. So there are two angles to that. One is, answer to your question. As an industry, definitely, we are competing against big multinationals. In India, almost 65% of the business is managed by 10 multinationals. And 35% of this industry is managed by 100 Indian manufacturers, where I am the president of this manufacturing association. And again, we are number 2 in that 100 category. Why the multinationals are controlling? Because they have early advantage, because they came much earlier to India and to the market. Second is, they always innovate and they bring the products. So, and thirdly, they have a lot of new systems which they are bringing, so that they can reach much faster to customers. In India, we have about 100,000 customers, and out of that, almost 80,000 customers are, they are situated in Tier 2 and Tier 3 cities. But unfortunately or fortunately, these 20% customers, that is 20,000 customers, manage 80% of this business. So we need to cover, as an Indian company, we need to cover both that 20,000 customers and 80,000 customers. So we need to have a lot of digital things we have to bring to reach our products to these customers. That means, lot of, I would say that the new digital systems, we have to bring it. And again, we need to have a lot of CRMs and all these things, because we have about 500 people are in the market. Out of that, 200 people on the sales and applications, 300 people are basically to service the customers. So we have a lot of online systems for complaints and again fast response, because the customers, if there is a small problem in the instruments, then immediate response they expect, because then we have to be digitally connect with these customers. So a lot of innovations, that angle is required. Secondly, as a product, we have to innovate. I will tell you one simple example. We have brought an instruments in 2011 which can read the entire, most of the protein estimations. But that product, again, a lot of changes happened over last 15 years. Now the people, they brought a lot of new systems. New systems means, I'll just give you, these are all some of the technical terms. Now today, if you go to a laboratory or if you go to a doctor, the creatinine means, it's a common test for to find out how's your kidney. But if the creatinine levels are out of range, that means, it's almost your kidney is gone. But today, there are some specialized tests where a small injury happened to your kidney, that is cystatin C. So, continuously innovate and bring it there. And Kerala is, again, we have a lot of cancer issues. So, we have recently, we brought a new products which is totally focused to the cancer detections. That is a product called Kappa Lambda Free Light Chains, where it can definitely detect the multiple myeloma. So that way we have to bring lot of new things to the customers. Then only we can sustain. So it's a continuous process on the product side innovation and continuous process on how fast we can reach to the customer. So these are the two things we are continuously innovating.
Thanks, sir. Thanks for that. So, Mr. Akshit, you spoke about change is inevitable and managing change is a large part of the job that you do on a regular basis. Any instances, any challenges you came across, how you are overcoming your industry, anything specific you want to share with us?
So in the present market, see what you can also see is that if there is a slowdown, our industry is where it is actually reflected at first, construction and building material industry and all that. So right now, the biggest challenge that we face as an industry over here is one would be the migration of youth to the other countries, wherein the home market demand is actually coming down. That in certain markets like Kottayam or Changashiri, you can actually feel it. And second would be the change in foreign policies of certain governments where they are inviting Indians to invest with them. That is also encouraging our Indians or our citizens to invest in those countries, which is actually causing a slowdown in the investment in our state as well. So if you look at Dubai is inviting a lot of people to invest in them in real estate and things like that. And a lot of people are doing that also. So because of which all that money which was supposed to come here as investment, let's say an NRI working there used to buy flats over here, that is drastically declining. Two reasons: the return that they get investing in Dubai is almost 10x when they compare it with Kerala. So that is one big challenge that we face now. Then the general economic slowdown, that is also there. Then as a middleman, what I face is the rate of borrowing. So as you also know, for the past so many years, the borrowing rates have been on the higher side compared to maybe 10 years back and all that. So that directly or indirectly affects our profitability as well. So that is also a big challenge for us. So if you look at the challenges that I face on a daily basis would be all these. And another thing is the cash flows in the market is still sluggish right now. So how you maintain that and manage that is also a big challenge for us. So you have to be always on your toes to manage all that, because a small error can cause a big loss.
We heard Mr. Thomas speaking about digitization and how it is important for the businesses to flourish. So any thoughts on digitization, transformation, what happened in your business and how it helped and how automation helps everybody? Any thoughts?
In TPF, like Thomas has said, we also continually put effort to ensure that we are digitally first. The median age of our team is 32 years. So me being 27 yesterday, turned 27 yesterday. So thank you, sir. So we are all digital first. So we put a lot of effort to ensure systems and processes are all built inside, something digital like a software, an app of sorts. So, and with AI coming in, it has already started helping us with $7 or $10 a month. We're able to automate very, many mundane tasks. You don't have to go and invest in a ERP like SAP or something to get results like, like 10 years back, you would have had to spend at least 10 crores to automate a task where, for example, you get a call, incoming call from a customer making an inquiry for a product, say from Kottayam. So now it's an AI bot which is picking the call, it's asking you questions, it's taking, so one person is remote from that question, and there is a lot of documentation which is happening, which is error free. So data is coming in about the person who's calling, where he's calling from, what product does he need. It goes into the CRM and then the callback is arranged. Even the callback is an automated WhatsApp message. So there is a change in consumer, buying pattern or habit with Zomato and Blinkit and Uber and everything. You don't want to call someone and ask for something. You just want to be on an app. Okay, select. People hate talking to people now. That's how it is, but you can't do anything about it. So you have to change how you interact with your customers. So we've reduced the number of times you'll have to speak to our sales rep or an agent or a CRM person. Instead, you can use a WhatsApp service where you select what service you want, and then you can place an order on WhatsApp. You can get get status updates on WhatsApp. You can check our prices on WhatsApp. So all these digital first things we're doing, and also we've integrated AI into our predictive algorithm. Basically, so we are predicting supply chain is a very important thing, and then any idle inventory is cost for the company. So with FMCG being a very low margin, very highly competitive industry, like you cannot have any dead stock anywhere. So we built a AI-based predictive algorithm where we know what the customer is going to order next week. So basically all retailers, be it Lulu or be it Reliance or be it Blinkit, basis what has been ordered over the past weeks and basis data which we've been collecting for the last 3 odd years, we're able to predict what product is going to sell more next week, what SKU will sell more, who is going to order that. So and now we've reached a point where it's around 80% accurate in its prediction. So we're continually, bringing in more data and like more touch points, more data points to ensure it's more precise. So this is what we're doing.
One thing, I think the data, how you enrich the data continuously, it's a constant process. Thanks for sharing. Thomas sir, for you, I heard from Mr. Chris and Mr. Akshay saying how the global technologies are making changes, how the global policies are impacting. But you operate out of 80 to 90 countries, you are globally present. So for those entrepreneurs who want to start globally, what are those challenges or what are those preparations or what is the message you want to give if they want to be resilient and be successful globally also?
We have started our international operations, I think after 2008, after we came to Kochi. So we made a very clear strategy for going to international market, because the basic strategy is that we will not operate in US or any developed countries, because our products are not fit to that. Because whatever products which we are selling here, that is fit to again tier 2 cities, mid and lower segment. So that product cannot sell to outside. So we were very clear that we don't want US, we don't want any Western Europe countries or North America as a whole, or even Australia. So we, before going to international market, we have selected some countries which are similar in nature, like India. We identified about 25 to 30 countries. So then we made our strategies, how we can enter to that. There are some countries which are similar to India. One simple example is Japan. Japan is a country where about 18 to 20,000 laboratories. But still, we cannot reach to that because Japan is highly closed and highly, they only use Japanese product. So we made our strategies where such a way that we can focus to Asia, Africa, maximum Latin America. So that way we have initially we decided. Then second, from there itself we have selected first 10 countries, how we can enter to these 10 countries. Then we keep on adding more and more countries. Today we have reached almost 70 countries. But again, still strategically, we have made it that India is our main focus. Almost 80%, or today, if you say that this year will be 78% of our business is from India and 22% only from international. Probably next 10 years, that percentage will not change. That may maximum go 78, may come down to 74 or something. And international business, 22% go to probably about 26%. So that way we have made a clear strategy. Secondly, we understood that when we want to go to international market, we need to fulfill the requirement of the international market. because most of these countries, they have local rules, local registrations. So without registrations, we don't want to do that. It's because our product is something connected to the healthcare. So we started doing the registrations locally, and we understood that some of the countries, they have difficulties to buy from India. So we decided we will set up a European subsidiary. So that is the reason why we set up a European subsidiary based out of Switzerland, even though it was very costly. So we are routing through that international, or most of our international business through that European Union subsidiary. So my suggestion is that before going to the international market, first of all, you need to do some homework, how that market and whether that market accepts your products that requires any local registration, and then only you select that market. That is my experience and my suggestion.
You are one of the largest distributors of Jaguar, and in no time we have seen a lot of growth, and your distribution has expanded a lot. So anybody who wants to expand in a large distribution mode and scale up in such a manner, any specific message that you would want to give which will help anybody into that line of business or any line of business which is expanding?
Basically, as a distributor, so if when we came in, when I came to the business, there were a lot of gaps in the way we do things, especially the way logistics was handled and all that. So in my firm, what I tried to do is let's make everything very professional. And recently, what we've done is, we have introduced WMS, warehouse managing, softwares and all that, which actually gives us a lot of inputs on how to track a product and how to deliver, or where is it placed and all that inside the warehouse and things like that. Then softwares which actually gives us a lot of returns. Why? Because as I said, we are not a manufacturer, so we don't decide our profits. So how much to stock, what is the correct amount of stocking, and etc. You need to depend on a lot of softwares to do that. So you have to set your MSLs right, minimum stock levels right, and you have to set your warehousing and logistics right. You have to plan your milk routes right and all that. So for all this, what we have done is we have depended on all softwares and the new technologies which help us to go forward in a long way. And anybody who's trying to do that, I would suggest just understand how the industry functions and how well can we stay a step ahead. Or for example, in a distribution venture, I would like to give an example of Asian Paints. For example, Asian Paints has got a strategy where if you place an order before 3 o'clock in the evening, that will be delivered on the same day. The advantage is that the dealer doesn't have to stock. So in the modern day, if you don't have to stock, your return on investment is so much that your profits, even if it's little lesser than the other competitor, you don't care, because your return on investment is your circle. Number of times you rotate the money so much more, you end up making more money. So in those aspects, think about it and you plan accordingly and set your systems right, so that everything will help you in the long run.
Thank you. I mean, the term PIA comes to my mind. Passion, innovation and agility. And we have one more PIA. I'm sure all the esteemed people in attendance also have these qualities, and you are making successful. This conversation is so enticing, I would want to continue. But I can feel the telepathic waves from my colleagues asking me to look at the watch. So we will pause here. I thank you so much. Belated happy birthday, Chris. You celebrated your birthday yesterday. Thank you so much, sir, for taking your time and being here despite your busy schedule. And thanks, Mr. Rakshit, being here and sharing your valuable thoughts. I also thank everyone for being here, for giving a patient listening. And I'm sure each one of you have such stories to share with us, which we will network with you during the course of the evening. I'll pause here. I request Mr. Bindish to please join us on stage, and James to take things forward.
Oh, that was truly insightful session. Requesting Randul also to join, just to hand over the memento to the participants. So you belated happy birthday. That is not
Thank you very much, everyone, ladies and gentlemen, for your patience, for your time to come over here and participate in the session. I hope you found this session to be meaningful and insightful. So, first of all, thank you very much, and we do hope this will bring a lot of insight for your business, and we look forward to interacting and networking with you as the evening progresses. I would like to extend special thanks to all the speakers, Mr. Chris, Mr. Thomas, Mr. Akshay, Rajendra, and everyone, Ratul, Rajendra, Deepak, Hitesh, for bringing your insights on future proofing MSMEs for the new age. So thank you very much for that. And yes, a special thanks to Ashwin and the team. I think just to introduce you, Ashwin and the entire Evolve team has been working tirelessly throughout the last 1 month or so. And thank you, Ashwin, and the entire team for bringing it to the beautiful city of Kochi. A big round of applause for Ashwin and the team. Thank you very much.